Picture this. It's Tuesday. You're driving home from work, mentally calculating if you have enough groceries to last until Friday, and suddenly, clunk. The car shutters. The check engine light, which you've been ignoring for 3 weeks because you didn't want to deal with it, starts flashing. You pull over, tow it to the shop, and the mechanic calls you the next morning to say it's the transmission. It's going to be $2,400. For 60% of the population, that phone call isn't just an annoyance, it is a financial death sentence. It's the domino that knocks over credit card debt, which knocks over the credit score, which raises the insurance premiums. It is a catastrophe. But for a very small group of people, maybe you or maybe the person you're trying to become, that phone call is just a Tuesday. Why? Because they crossed a specific number, a number that nobody talks about. Everyone is obsessed with the first $100,000. You hear it all the time. Charlie Munger said the first 100K is a struggle, and he's right. But here's the thing. You can't get to 100K without surviving the first 20K. The gap between having $0 and having $20,000 is the most violent financial shift you will ever experience. It is where the math of your life changes from subtraction to addition. But once you cross it, things get weird. The psychology flips, the math breaks, and if you aren't ready for what happens after $20,000, you might lose it all just as fast as you saved it. My name is Bill, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible barriers in wealth accumulation. If you're someone who feels like you're saving money but never actually getting ahead, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Today, we aren't talking about becoming a millionaire, not yet. We are talking about the safety trap, the moment you hit $20,000 in liquid assets, and why that specific number changes your brain chemistry, your career, and your future returns more than any other milestone. Look, I need to be honest with you. The reason most people quit before they hit $20,000 is because the math is discouraging. It's actually painful. We've all heard of compound interest. It's the eighth wonder of the world, right? Einstein said that. Or maybe he didn't. It doesn't matter. Here is what they don't tell you in basic finance class. Compound interest is useless in the beginning. It is effectively non-existent. Let's run the numbers. Let's say you have $5,000 invested in the S&P 500. You get a great year, a 10% return. That is $500. Now, $500 is nice, but $500 doesn't change your life. $500 is a decent dinner out and a pair of shoes. It doesn't buy freedom. This is where it gets really interesting. When you were building your first $20,000, 99% of the growth comes from your savings rate, not your investment returns. If you were saving $500 a month, it takes you roughly 40 months to hit $20,000, assuming a conservative return. If the market crashes during that time, it might take 45 months. If the market booms, maybe 38 months. The market barely matters. You matter. This is the grind phase, and this is where the frustration sets in. You are throwing money into a pit, and it doesn't look like it's growing. You look at your account after 2 years of discipline, and you have $12,000. You think, I sacrificed 2 years of vacations for this? I could buy a used Honda Civic. That's it? That psychological disconnect, the feeling that your sacrifice isn't yielding a proportionate reward, is why people cash out at $15K to buy a boat. But the second you cross $20,000, the scales tip. Let's talk about leverage. Not financial leverage. I'm not talking about margin trading. I'm talking about life leverage. Data from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances usually paints a bleak picture. The median bank account balance for Americans under 35 is often reported to be roughly $3,000 to $5,000. If you have $20,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account or a brokerage, you are statistically an anomaly. Now, you might be thinking, Bill, $20,000 isn't enough to retire. I can't quit my job. No, you can't retire, but you can negotiate. Here is a concept that changed my life: the walkaway power. When you have $0 in the bank, you accept the bad boss. You accept the unpaid overtime. You accept the toxic client. Why? Because you have to eat next week. Your horizon of survival is 7 days. When you have $20,000, your horizon of survival expands to 6 to 10 months. Suddenly, when your boss says, "I need you to work this weekend for free," you don't panic. You pause. You calculate. You realize, if I say no and he fires me, I will be fine until next year. That psychological shift changes your body language. It changes your tone of voice. And ironically, people who are less desperate tend to get promoted faster and paid more. $20,000 is the price of your dignity. This is where the math starts to get fun. When you are at $0, every dollar you have is a dollar you worked for. When you are at $20,000, your money finally gets a job. Let's assume a standard 8% average market return over a long period. At $20,000, your money generates $1,600 a year passively. That is $1,063 a month. Now I know, Bill, $133 is nothing. Is it? $133 pays your Netflix, your Spotify, your internet bill, and maybe your gym membership. Think about that. At $20,000 invested, your money is now paying for your entertainment and your health. You have effectively eliminated those line items from your cost of living forever, as long as you don't touch the principal. This is the velocity of money. The first 10K felt like pushing a boulder up a hill. The second 10K felt like pushing it on flat ground. After 20K, the boulder starts to lean downhill. But, and this is a massive but, this is also where the danger spikes. Here's what most people don't realize. The most dangerous number in personal finance isn't zero, it's $20,000. Why? Because at zero, you know you're broke. You're frugal out of necessity. At $20,000, you feel rich. You look at that balance and your brain says, "We made it." You start looking at the 2025 SUV. You start looking at the luxury apartment upgrade. There is a phenomenon called lifestyle creep, but at this stage, it's actually asset justification. You tell yourself, "I have the money, so I can afford the payment." You take that $20,000, which was your freedom fund, and you turn it into a down payment on a $60,000 liability. You just took your employees, your dollars, and fired them to buy a shiny metal box that loses value every single day. If you wipe out your $20,000 to buy stuff, you're not just resetting to zero, you're resetting to worse than zero, because now you have higher monthly payments and no liquidity. You are back in the trap, but the walls are thicker. Do not murder your capital just because it started to grow. Let's talk about the hardest part of having $20,000. It's saying no to opportunities that look like yes. When you have money, people find out. Or you start to feel like you should invest in schemes. Your cousin has a business idea. You see a course on drop shipping. You see a volatile crypto coin pumping. When you have $500, you can invest in a real estate syndicate. When you have $20,000, suddenly you qualify for investments that are actually just high-fee gambling. Here is the rule I want you to follow: the boring zone. From $0 to $100,000, your investments should be painfully boring. I'm talking broad market index funds. I'm talking high-yield savings. If your investment strategy excites you at cocktail parties, you're probably doing it wrong. The goal of the first $20,000 isn't to 10x. The goal is to survive long enough to get to 100K. $20,000 is the seed corn. You do not eat the seed corn. You plant it. So, you're either approaching $20,000 or you just passed it. What do you do now? How do you leverage this to get to the holy grail of 100K? Here is the 3-step protocol. Number 1, the do-nothing audit. For 30 days after hitting 20K, do not change a single spending habit. Do not upgrade your phone. Do not celebrate with a trip. Let the money sit. You need to normalize the feeling of having money. If you aren't used to seeing 5 figures in your account, your subconscious will try to find ways to spend it to get you back to your comfort zone of 0. Fight that. Number 2, switch from saving to investing. Up to 20K, cash in a high-yield savings account is fine. You needed liquidity. Now you need growth. You need to ensure a portion of this is moving into equities. You cannot save your way to wealth with inflation at 3% and savings yields at 4%. You need the 8 to 10% market average. Number 3, Focus on income. You have mastered the defense, saving. Now you need offense, earning. Since you have a 20K safety net, take a calculated risk. Ask for the raise. Apply for the job that you're only 70% qualified for. Start the side hustle that requires $500 to launch. Use the safety net to increase the shovel. Look, getting to $20,000 is hard, it's lonely, it's boring, and nobody throws you a parade when you get there. But it is the financial equivalent of learning to walk. Once you can walk, you can run. Once you can run, you can fly. Don't let the fatigue of the first phase trick you into giving up right before the magic happens. The math is working. The compound interest is waking up. You have built the engine. Now let it run. If you are currently on the grind to your first 20K, or if you've just passed it, comment below, "I am building the engine." I want to see how many of us are actually doing the work. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.